Hello everybody, welcome to CFS Abaton. My name is Anastasia and I'm coming to you from the island of Crete in Greece. Taking you with me today along the water. It's one of our last sunnier days before winter sets in. We'll see if I make it out for a swim. I might just go for a swim and shed this jacket. So on this channel, you will find stories of my personal recovery, hopefully in bite-sized pieces for you, that describe my lifelong TMS and CFS symptoms, how they ebbed and flowed and crashed me out and thrashed my life, how I recovered, the ups and downs, and what I may have done differently to lessen that time if I could have. Also, you will hear about the different ways that I work with clients who are also wishing to recover. So for today's video, the 3 patient types. There is no one way of recovery. Is that good news to you? I don't know. There can be relief in that. For me, there has been a lot of frustration and a lot of setbacks in that, but it depends on your patient type. And the late Dr. John Sarno, the godfather of mind-body medicine, who developed his body of work in the 1950s and 60s in America. He was an American physician. He went quite counterculture to his medical colleagues and decided, you know what, the medical systems we are using are just doing no good to these poor people. And he discovered that there was an emotional component to a lot of these symptoms that were slipping by the awareness of people. And in his work, he recognized 3 different patient types, which I really relate to. There's the first 20%, and these numbers may have changed since he wrote some of his materials, but at that time it was 20%. Now it could certainly be more, that recovered from reading a book, whether it was one of his books, which at that time it would have been one of his books, but now we have access to many forms of literature, and I hear people oftentimes reading information about CFS, long COVID, and TMS symptoms and get better. You know, a friend of mine recovered from long COVID just exploring free information online about polyvagal theory. So, you know, it depends on the person, but there is a percentage of people who will recover once they have the accurate information that describes what's going on in their body. When they identify with the information and say, yes, this sounds like me. Aha, this is what's been going on. I'm having emotional overload, and here are some things I could try to come out of it. That can be enough for this percentage of people. Then Sarno describes the second group. The next at that time was 60%. And that second group recovered through information like reading a book and also working with a coach or working some type of program with a practitioner. And the reason this group needed the support of a program or a practitioner was because their emotional load that they were carrying ran a little bit deeper than the first group. So you can probably guess why in group 3, that group might need information through a book or a course, working with a practitioner, and then some third options, which for Dr. Sarno in his time meant he would refer his clients out to other practitioners who had more nuanced healing tools at their disposal, who are also trained by him in mind-body medicine. So I find it's been helpful to me as someone in that third category to work with practitioners who understand the somatic relationship between emotions and symptoms and understand what I'm doing. For me, I found the solution was to stop working with practitioners. And this is going to be so chaotic and taboo because I'm not encouraging anyone to stop working with coaches. But for me, in that third category, we carry even more emotional load than the second category. Oh my God, am I screwed? Well, it takes this group a bit longer to recover, but we can recover. It's not impossible. It's super frustrating. In that last 20%, I found for me what was happening is I was trying to fit myself into someone else's recovery framework all the time. A distinctive factor in that second group is that they may push themselves to be good students a little bit harder than the first group. The second group may put more pressure on themselves to succeed, to achieve, to please, to be good. And for me, as a third patient type, I really tried hard to fit myself into every coach's protocol. And since the underlying message was our way is the right way, I felt like I was doing something wrong unless I can fit to it. But that was throwing me into really bad symptoms and would take away the progress I made in my recovery as I would reach out just to get a little more better and learn something new. So for me, that beat me back, and I needed to find a way that was more emotionally attuned to me rather than finding a way to emotionally attune myself to someone else's system. That's just me. I think for the third group of patients and clients, people recovering, it's really an individual case-by-case measurement of what works. There really is no one way or another. And as a coach, I'm here to really support the sovereignty of people who need to go one way or another. And that was the key for me, not one way. So whatever group you fit into, you're welcome to share in the comments. Does any of that resonate for you? If you would like to talk more about your case with me, you're welcome to set up a free 30-minute curiosity call. The link is in the description of this video. And I also work with clients remotely, online video sessions from here in Crete at Anastasia's Abaton. So recovery is possible. I'm going to go for a swim today and just rooting for you all. Whatever category you're in, you can recover whichever client measurement you identify with. It's not for you to fit yourself, to force something to work. It's really about finding what emotionally attunes to you and feels right. And I think it's really important to make space for that in the recovery community. And that's what I'm here to do. So until I see you again in one of the videos or on a call, all the best from Crete.